you want to hear a story about my life, leave a comment in the below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Gabriel Anthony Martinez is 29 years old and lives in Arizona with his mom, dad, and his 14-year-old sister, Madison. Their home is quiet but structured, with his mom being very strict, especially with Madison, who is still learning how to handle rules, school, and responsibilities. Gabriel's room is in the basement. It's his own space, a place where he can think and pray. He has decorated it simply but meaningfully. On one wall hangs a large poster of Jesus, which reminds him of faith, peace, and staying strong through family challenges. His room has a calm atmosphere, soft lighting, a bed in the corner, and a small desk where he spends time reflecting or writing. At home, Gabriel often notices the tension between his mom and Madison. His mom wants Madison to stay focused and disciplined, while Madison sometimes feels overwhelmed by the strict rules. Gabriel tries to stay in the middle, encouraging his sister when he can, and respecting his parents. Even though life at home can feel stressful at times, Gabriel finds peace in his faith and in his basement room. Looking at the Jesus poster helps him stay grounded and reminds him to be patient, loving, and understanding with his family. In quiet moments, Gabriel prays for unity in his home, for his parents to have wisdom, for Madison to feel supported, and for their family to grow closer together in peace and faith. The next morning in the Martinez home started early. Sunlight barely reached the basement windows where Gabriel Anthony Martinez was already awake. He sat on the edge of his bed, looking at the Jesus poster on his wall. The house above him was already active. He could hear footsteps, drawers opening, and his mom calling Madison's name. "Madison, wake up! You're going to be late," his mom's voice echoed through the hallway. Gabriel slowly stood up and stretched. He knew mornings like this usually meant tension upstairs. Madison often rushed, sometimes arguing, sometimes staying quiet but frustrated. His mom's strict rules didn't change, and that was something the whole house felt. Gabriel walked upstairs and found Madison at the kitchen table, half dressed for school, staring at her breakfast without eating. "I don't even want to go today," Madison muttered. Their mom immediately responded, firm but controlled. "You go to school every day. No excuses." Gabriel stepped in calmly. "Mom, I can walk with her to the bus stop. Maybe it'll help her get there on time." His mom looked at him for a moment, then nodded. "Fine, but make sure she doesn't waste time." Madison grabbed her backpack and rolled her eyes slightly, but she didn't argue further. Outside, the air was cooler. Gabriel walked beside his sister in silence at first. Then he spoke gently. "You're not alone, he said. "She's strict, but she cares, even if it doesn't feel like it." Madison kicked a small rock on the sidewalk. "It doesn't feel like care. It feels like pressure all the time." Gabriel didn't argue. He just nodded. "I used to feel that too, but sometimes people don't know how to show love the right way." Madison looked at him briefly but didn't respond. When they reached the bus stop, Madison finally said, "You always stay calm." "How?" Gabriel glanced back toward their house in the distance. "I just think about God. If I let anger lead, everything gets worse. If I stay patient, maybe things change little by little." The bus arrived, and Madison stepped on without saying much more. But before she sat down, she gave Gabriel a small, quiet nod. Something new. Something small, but real. Gabriel watched the bus drive away, then turned back toward home, knowing the day wasn't over yet. And neither were the challenges inside his family. When Gabriel got back inside the house, the atmosphere had already shifted again. The kitchen was quieter now. Madison was gone on the bus, and their mom was cleaning up breakfast with a focused, almost tired energy. The strictness was still there, but underneath it, there was a heaviness Gabriel could sense, but didn't always hear spoken out loud. Gabriel walked slowly toward the kitchen table. "Everything okay?" he asked gently. His mom didn't look up right away. She kept wiping the counter. "She just discipline," she said finally. "Life isn't easy. I'm trying to prepare her." Gabriel nodded, choosing his words carefully. "I understand. I think she hears you. She just gets overwhelmed." That made his mom pause for a second. She leaned on the counter, exhaling. "I don't want her to make the same mistakes people in this world make," she said softer than before. "I just don't know another way sometimes." Gabriel felt that moment, the rare crack in the strict surface where worry showed through. "I know," he said, "but maybe she also needs to feel a little more encouragement too." For a few seconds, there was silence between them. Then his mom finally nodded once, not fully agreeing, but not rejecting it either. "Go check on your room," she said, turning back to the dishes. "And thank you for walking with her this morning." Gabriel gave a small smile. "Of course." He went back down to the basement. The moment he opened his door, it felt like stepping into peace again. The Jesus poster on the wall caught the morning light coming through the small window. Everything felt calm compared to upstairs. He sat on his bed and pulled out his phone, thinking about Madison on the bus, thinking about his mom's stress, thinking about how heavy the house sometimes felt. And then he closed his eyes and prayed quietly. "Lord, help my family understand each other. Help my sister feel supported. Help my mom have peace instead of stress. And help me be patient every day." Downstairs in that quiet basement room, Gabriel stayed still for a moment longer, not because everything was fixed, but because his faith gave him strength to keep going, even when it wasn't. That afternoon, everything changed when the front door opened again. Gabriel was still downstairs in his basement room when he heard a heavier set of footsteps upstairs, slower, more tired than the morning rush. Then came a familiar voice. "Where is everybody?" It was their dad. Gabriel immediately paused his phone and listened. His dad usually came home later in the day, sometimes quiet, sometimes carrying stress from work. Today, his voice sounded different, like something had been weighing on him for a while. Footsteps came down the hallway, then a knock on Gabriel's basement door. "Gabriel? You down there?" "Yeah, Dad," Gabriel answered, standing up quickly. The door opened and his dad stepped inside. He looked around the room slowly, the Jesus poster on the wall, the simple setup, the calm atmosphere compared to upstairs. His expression softened a little. "You still keeping this room peaceful, huh?" His dad said quietly. Gabriel nodded. "I try." His dad sat on the edge of the bed, rubbing his hands together like he was thinking about something heavy. "Your mom told me about Madison this morning," he said. "She's been pushing her hard again." Gabriel didn't interrupt. He just listened. His dad sighed. "I know your mom means well, but sometimes I think we're all just trying to survive the same stress in different ways." Gabriel sat next to him. "Madison feels it too. She just doesn't always know how to say it." That made his dad look down for a moment. "I remember when you were her age," his dad said. "You were quiet too, always thinking." Gabriel gave a small smile. "I still am." For the first time that day, his dad actually laughed a little. Upstairs, they could hear Madison coming home from school. Door opening, backpack dropping, quick footsteps. Then a voice from upstairs, "I'm home." The house went quiet again, like everyone was waiting for the next moment. Gabriel's dad stood up. "Let's go talk to them together." Gabriel followed him upstairs. In the kitchen, Madison stood near the counter, tired from school. Their mom was there too, still in her serious posture, arms crossed but calmer than the morning. The tension was familiar, but now there was something different in the room. Their dad stepped in first. "Madison," he said gently, "how was school today?" Madison hesitated, then shrugged. "Fine, I guess." Their dad nodded. "That's honest." Then he looked at their mom. "We need to talk as a family. Not just rules, understanding too." Silence filled the room. Gabriel stood between them, noticing something he hadn't seen in a while. Everyone was actually listening. And for the first time that day, the house didn't feel divided. It felt like it was starting to come together. The conversation in the kitchen stayed quiet for a moment after their dad spoke. No one interrupted. No one walked away. Their dad looked at each of them one by one. "We're not here to attack each other," he said calmly. "We're here to understand what's been going on in this house." Their mom softened her arms slightly, no longer as tense as before. "I just want her to do well in life," she said, glancing toward her daughter. Their sister stayed quiet at first, then finally spoke. "I'm trying," she said, her voice a little shaky. "But it feels like I'm always doing something wrong no matter what I do." That sentence hung in the air. Gabriel didn't rush in. He waited, then spoke gently. "No one is saying you're failing," he said. "We just need to find a better way to talk to each other. Not everything has to feel like pressure." Their dad nodded slowly. "He's right." Their mom took a breath, then looked at her daughter more directly. "I didn't realize it was feeling like that for you," she admitted. "I just thought I was helping." The room softened again. Not fully healed, but no longer breaking. Gabriel looked at the Jesus poster in his mind, remembering his prayer from earlier. He could feel something changing, even if it was small. His dad stepped forward slightly. "From now on, we talk more. No more just commands. We listen too." Their sister wiped her face quickly, trying not to show too much emotion, but she nodded. "Okay," she said quietly. Gabriel exhaled slowly. For the first time that day, the house didn't feel divided into sides. It felt like everyone was finally standing in the same place again. Still imperfect, still learning, but together. After the silence in the kitchen, something unexpected happened. No one left the room. Even though the tension had started to ease, everyone was still standing there like they were afraid the moment would break if they moved too fast. Then Madison spoke again, softer this time. "Can I just go to my room for a bit?" Their mom hesitated, then nodded. But her voice was different now. "Yes, go ahead. We'll talk later," calmly. Madison looked surprised by that answer, like she wasn't used to hearing calmly instead of commands. She quietly grabbed her backpack and walked down the hallway. Gabriel noticed it immediately. That small change in tone had already started shifting something in her. Their dad broke the silence next. "I'm proud of all of you for staying in the same room just now," he said honestly. "That's not easy in this house sometimes." Their mom let out a slow breath. "I didn't realize how much pressure I was putting on her." Gabriel stepped in gently. Admitting that's already a big change, he said. "She'll notice it, even if she doesn't say it right away." Upstairs, a door closed, Madison's room. But instead of anger behind it, there was something quieter. Like she wasn't slamming away from the family, just stepping away to breathe. Later that evening, Gabriel was back in his basement room again. The next morning, the house felt different, but not perfect. It was quieter, like everyone was being more careful with their words. Gabriel came upstairs from the basement and noticed Madison already sitting at the table eating breakfast. She wasn't rushing like before. Their mom was nearby, but instead of strict instructions, she was simply preparing food and occasionally checking on things without speaking too sharply. Their dad broke the silence first. "Morning," he said. "Morning," Madison replied, still a little shy, but calmer than usual. Their mom looked at her daughter for a moment, then spoke more gently than she had the day before. "Did you sleep okay?" Madison paused, surprised by the question. "Yeah, I did." That small exchange felt simple, but it mattered. Gabriel sat down and watched it quietly. He didn't try to force anything. He could see it. Everyone was still learning how to talk again without tension leading the conversation. After breakfast, Madison stood up to leave for school. At the doorway, she hesitated for a second, then looked back. "I'll text you when I get there," she said softly. Their mom nodded. "Okay, thank you." No arguing, no pressure, just communication. After she left, the kitchen stayed calm. Their dad leaned back in his chair. "That's better," he said quietly. Their mom didn't smile fully, but her voice was honest. "I just don't want to lose connection with her." Gabriel looked at both of them. "You're not losing her," he said. "You're just learning a new way to reach her." His parents both went quiet at that, and for the first time, no one argued with it. Down in his basement later that day, Gabriel sat under the soft light of his room again. The Jesus poster on the wall felt like a reminder. Not that everything was fixed, but that patience was still working in the background. The house above him wasn't perfect, but it was no longer breaking, and that was enough for today. That night, the house was quieter than it had been in a long time. Not silent, but calmer. Gabriel sat in his basement room again, reading a verse on his phone while the soft light from his lamp lit up the Jesus poster on the wall. He could hear normal sounds upstairs now. Dishes being put away, low conversation, footsteps that didn't feel rushed or angry. Then came another knock. This time it was his dad again. "Gabriel, you got a minute?" "Yeah, come in." His dad walked in slowly and stood for a second, looking around the room like he was thinking deeply. "I've been thinking about what happened," he said. Gabriel nodded, listening. "I spent a lot of time believing that being strict meant being a good parent," his dad continued. "But I think I forgot something important. Connection." Gabriel stayed quiet, letting him speak. His dad sat down again on the bed. "Your mom is trying her best," he added. "And so am I. But Madison? She's not just someone we have to guide. She's someone we need to understand too." Gabriel replied softly. "She noticed the difference today. Even small changes. That matters more than people think." His dad exhaled. "I want this home to feel like a family again, not just rules." A few seconds passed. Then Gabriel said, "It's already starting. It just takes time." Upstairs, Madison's room light was still on. After a moment, footsteps came down the stairs. It was her. She stood at the bottom, holding her phone. She said quietly, "Can I sit with you guys for a bit?" Her dad looked surprised, but in a good way. "Of course," he said immediately. Madison slowly came into Gabriel's room and sat on the floor near the bed instead of leaving again like she used to. There was a short silence. Then she said, "Today felt different, like I wasn't just getting told what I'm doing wrong all the time." Their mom appeared in the doorway a moment later, softer than before. "I was thinking about that too," she admitted, "and I'm going to try harder. To listen first." Gabriel looked between all of them. This wasn't a perfect family yet, but for the first time, it didn't feel like they were pulling apart. It felt like they were learning how to stay together. The next few days passed slowly, but in a better way. The house didn't become perfect overnight. There were still small moments of frustration, still misunderstandings, still silence at times. But the sharp edges were softer now. One Sunday morning, Gabriel woke up earlier than usual. The basement was quiet except for the faint sound of movement upstairs. He could hear Madison getting ready and his parents talking in calm voices instead of stressed ones. He stood up, looked at the Jesus poster on his wall, and quietly got dressed. Upstairs, Madison was already at the table. This time, she didn't look rushed or tense. Their mom placed breakfast down gently, and instead of giving orders, she simply said, "We'll leave in about 20 minutes for church." Madison nodded. "Okay." No argument, no pressure, just agreement. Their dad looked at Gabriel and gave a small nod. "Ready?" Gabriel replied, "Yeah." At church, the atmosphere felt different too. Madison sat a little closer to the family than she used to. Not fully opened up yet, but not pulling away either. During worship, Gabriel closed his eyes. He didn't think about fixing everything anymore. He just prayed for continued peace. After service, they walked out together into the Arizona sunlight. Madison broke the silence first. I like when we don't fight in the morning, she said quietly. Their mom looked at her and smiled a little. Me too. Their dad added, we're learning. That's what matters. Gabriel walked slightly behind them for a moment, watching his family walk together instead of apart. It wasn't a perfect ending. It wasn't even the end at all. But it was something better. It was a new beginning. Slow, steady, and real. That evening, the Martinez home felt different in a way that was hard to explain, but easy to notice. Dinner was quieter, but not uncomfortable. Plates clinked softly, and instead of tension, there was small conversation about normal things: school, work, plans for the week. After eating, Madison stayed at the table a little longer than usual. I finished my homework already, she said. Her mom looked up, surprised but pleased. Good, thank you for telling me. No criticism followed. No extra pressure. Just acknowledgement. Gabriel watched it all from the side, noticing how even simple words were changing the atmosphere. Later, the family moved into the living room. The TV was on low volume, but no one was really focused on it. It was more like background comfort than distraction. Madison sat on the couch instead of her room. Their dad leaned back in his chair. Their mom sat with her hands folded, calmer than before. Gabriel stayed nearby, relaxed. A few minutes passed before Madison spoke quietly. Can I say something? Everyone turned toward her. She hesitated, then continued. I know things aren't perfect yet, but it feels easier now, like I'm not scared to talk. Her mom took a slow breath. That's what I want for you, for all of us. Her dad nodded. We're still learning, but we're listening now. Gabriel added softly. That's the biggest change. Listening changes everything. Madison looked down for a moment, then gave a small nod. Okay, she said. I like this better. The room stayed quiet after that, but it wasn't an awkward silence anymore. It was peaceful. Outside, the Arizona night settled in, but inside the Martinez home, something stronger was growing. Not perfection, not a finished story, just a family, learning, healing, and staying together one day at a time. That evening, the living room felt steady and calm. Gabriel sat on the edge of the couch while his parents relaxed nearby, and Madison sat a little closer than she used to. The TV was on, but nobody was really paying attention to it. The real focus was the conversation between them. Madison was the first to speak. I didn't think things would actually change, she admitted. I thought it would just stay the same forever. Her mom looked at her gently. I didn't realize how it felt from your side. I'm sorry for that. That word, sorry, made the room go quiet for a second. Not uncomfortable, just meaningful. Her dad nodded slowly. We're not trying to control you, Madison. We're trying to guide you. But we also have to listen better. Madison looked down, then nodded. I just want to feel like I can talk without getting in trouble every time. Gabriel leaned forward slightly. That's what we're building now, he said calmly. Not overnight, but step by step. His mom gave a small, tired smile, one that showed relief more than pride. I can already see a difference, she said. It's quieter in the house, but in a good way. Madison actually smiled a little at that. Yeah, it feels better. There was a pause after that, but it wasn't heavy anymore. It was peaceful silence, the kind where nobody felt the need to defend themselves. Outside, the Arizona night settled over the neighborhood. Inside, the Martinez family stayed in the same room a little longer than usual, not rushing away, not shutting down conversations early. Gabriel looked around at them and realized something simple but important. They weren't perfect, but they were finally learning how to stay connected.
Okay. You like it? Like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn notification. Thank you for watching. Watch it to the end. And God bless.